What's going on? It's Fight Season MMA, and today I want to talk about the reports of Israel Adesanya possibly weighing over 230 pounds coming into this fighting camp against Dricus du Plessis. If this is true, Israel Adesanya is now massive. That means that dude has put on so much muscle, and this could mean Dricus is in a lot of trouble. Thank you guys so much for watching these episodes of Fight Season MMA. If you guys enjoy the content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. 98% of my viewers who watch my videos are not subscribed, so please go down there and hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to show support to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please go hit that subscribe button. It means a lot. Let's jump right into the video on why I think that this is so massive that Israel Adesanya is weighing more than 230 pounds. Okay, coming out to recent reports to a bunch of different people, namely Dan Hooker, Israel Adesanya's good friend and teammate over there in Auckland, New Zealand, says that Israel Adesanya is weighing more than 230 pounds and is hitting like a truck. For comparison, some other UFC middleweight at the time who weighed around 230 pounds, his name was only Alex Pereira, and we all know how hard Alex Pereira hit. But Israel Adesanya, during his title reign at middleweight, kind of weighed, I would say, about 195 to 210, somewhere in that range, to where on a really heavy day, he was weighing probably around 210 pounds, and he really didn't have to cut that much weight. You look at the fight against Jan Blachowicz that he had at 205, and Israel Adesanya weighed in at like 195 pounds. He had no weight to cut for that training camp. So this is absolutely massive to see that Israel Adesanya has took his time outside of the UFC fight, out of fighting in the UFC, and has put on muscle. This dude would be absolutely massive right now. He might be bigger than Dricus du Plessis, and Dricus is a pretty big UFC middleweight, but we all know that the way that Israel Adesanya is going to go win this fight is because of Dricus du Plessis going in there and being reckless, and Israel Adesanya counting him with a counterpunch. And the big thing that I said in my last breakdown on why I don't think that Israel Adesanya is going to be able to hit him, it's not that he can't, it's that he won't have enough power behind the shots to really do some damage. But if he weighs over 230 pounds, that take is out the window because Israel Adesanya is going to hit like a truck. Dan Hooker was said that sparring Israel Adesanya is awful because of how hard that man hits. So if Israel Adesanya, if this is true that he weighs 230 pounds and he can have a good weight cut down to 135 pounds, because that's a big question too, is yes, gaining weight is good for the UFC, but if you don't have a good weight cut down, your chin could then be hampered, and then your power could also be hampered too in that standpoint. But if Israel Adesanya has put on this weight properly and can go down and get to 185 pounds, it will be an absolute fear for Dricus du Plessis. Now, not saying that Israel Adesanya hasn't put on the weight properly, because if you've seen the pictures of Israel Adesanya recently, he looks gigantic, and this is just not even me saying this out of a crazy standpoint or me trying to, like, I don't know, scare you guys or whatnot, but he looks amazing right now, Israel Adesanya. He looks super lean and super cut for for Israel Adesanya normally, because usually he's kind of more of a slender fighter. We all know his frame, 6'4", kind of skinny, but he's got some actual muscle on now, and that would be absolutely crazy to see Israel Adesanya step inside the octagon fighting Dricus du Plessis with the power of Alex Pereira. You realize how good of a fighter that would be? He'd be better than Alex Pereira. There's no way that he wouldn't be. If he's stepping in there with that power, the big difference between Alex and Izzy is Alex has that nuclear power behind him, and that's what makes him one of the best strikers in the UFC. And Izzy's up there with the technique, and he might be a better technical striker than Alex Pereira, but he just doesn't have that punch. He just doesn't have that oomph when he really hits his opponent. But if he absolutely is able to use that power, 100%, is going to really help him. And by the way, I know a lot of people are going to comment down below that if Izzy doesn't have that power, how did he knock out Alex Pereira? And there's a lot more complications to that. Alex Pereira's cutting with so much weight that his chin was super hampered, so I don't think that same shot would have KO'd Alex Pereira at 205 pounds rather than 185. And I do think that accolade for Israel Adesanya is massive, but I don't think it's as big as a lot of people are saying, just because of how much weight Alex Pereira was cutting, and I think his chin was a little bit hampered, but that's besides the point. Like I was saying, Israel Adesanya, if he has truly put on this weight properly, which I think he has, Dricus du Plessis is in for a long night, and honestly, that might switch my opinion on who is winning this fight, because if Israel Adesanya hits like a truck, It's not, can he hit Dricus? It's a when is he going to hit Dricus? And if he has that power behind him, that's going to be dangerous, because the big difference between Dricus du Plessis, the big difference between Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya, Sean puts a lot more output out, and that damage accumulation is equal to one strong shot. The difference with Israel Adesanya is he kind of doesn't put out that much output to where he's really going and punching you to hit you in that standpoint. But if Israel Adesanya has now put on that power, he would be more comparable to someone like an Alex Pereira rather than a Sean Strickland. The opposite of Sean Strickland, my fault, because his damage accumulation in this standpoint is going to do something to Dricus du Plessis that Dricus hasn't even thought before. And truly, I think Dricus is in for a long night now. And I think Israel Adesanya's takedown defense is going to be improved. And I think he's going into this camp thinking he's going to absolutely buzzsaw through Dricus du Plessis. And if I see that these results are true, I see that happening, honestly. But ultimately, I do think that this weight gain for Israel Adesanya, if it's done correctly, is absolutely massive in impacting this fight. I think Israel Adesanya coming in with more power and coming in with the ability to take a shot and absolutely unload on Dricus with one shot will change this fight and ultimately change the outcome. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fights in MMA, and please let me know in the comments down below, how do you think Israel Adesanya is going to look against Dricus du Plessis? Because if he is truly this massive, I honestly don't see a way that Israel Adesanya loses this fight, because one shot from Izzy is going to light up Dricus and change this fight entirely. Izzy's too accurate to really make a mistake against already. But the one gripe that we've all had against Izzy is he's not that powerful, and that's why he really can't finish a lot of these guys, because one punch doesn't go out there and really, really, really hurt his opponent, to where now if one punch lands, they're going to get sent to Mars. So please let me know what you think about this. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fights in MMA, and you guys please go down and hit that subscribe button, because subscribing is the biggest way to support the channel. And we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please go down there and help me reach that goal. And while you're down there, hit the post notifications button, because that's the greatest way to show your continued support to the channel, while hitting that subscribe button and then hitting the post notifications, so you guys are always notified when videos are released from Fight Season MMA. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode, and I will get you guys soon. I will get back to you guys soon with more UFC content and news.